day that it will come. But if you ever fall down straight to the bottom and you can't get back where you started in a place.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Birdie, and I'm back with Carter.
What's going on?
Oh, hey, shout out to Cat. Look, we got different shirts on this time. So if you guys didn't read the banner and the title of this video, we're going to be talking about Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Now, I'm not going to say recently ended, but it finally came out with the 6th and final episode of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, where everything is explained, and everything in the back is just, it ends, and it essentially, so I want to hand it over to Carter to give his point of view on it.
So, Birdie was showing me these videos, like, one night, and I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be fun, don't hug me, I'm scared. I was thinking it was like, oh, like a little joke thing. Well, we got into the first video, at the end, it was a bit dark, and I was like, oh, Jesus, what the hell did I just get myself into? And then Birdie kept on showing me the videos. Luckily, he had to go to work, so I didn't have to watch the rest of them. But, you know, we watched the rest of the 3, and I was a bit creeped out, just a bit. Yeah, I would definitely watch them again. They're just a bit creepy. So.
Like, what made them creepy to you?
Like, just how they all ended, how it was like, in one video, it was like, someone was pulling out, like, guts out of someone, and it was just creepy to me because they all ended in, like, a gruesome way.
Okay, so let's start off with number 1, which it was imagination. Now, it starts off with our 3 characters, Red Guy, Yellow Guy, and Bird, which I'm just going to say that we don't really know their names. And then they're just sitting at a table, and
all of a sudden
there's a notebook that pops up, and it starts singing to them about imagination and how to use it. And they start to question it. It's more like a little kids' TV show kind of way. It's like in a fourth wall, third-person view, looking into like a set. And then they start to get into it, and it progressively gets creepy. And it pierces the veil of what nowadays cartoon little kid shows is actually showing, and it's brainwashing people. And then it all just goes downhill from there. There's a heart, there's Duck is writing death, Yellow Guy is dancing around like he's possessed. And then it ends with the notebook saying, let's not ever use it again. Closes, end of 1. The second one was Time, where it opens up as them sitting down in the living room. Duck's in a rocking chair. Red Guy is sitting there with a book that shows the times, and the TV's all static.
Because they're waiting for their favorite show to come on.
Yeah.
So, all of a sudden, while they're waiting, this clock just pops off. He's like, hi, on the clock, and then he starts singing. He
starts talking about time and how it works and everything all about that. And then Duck tries to explain time in a scientific relative and just all that stuff. And then the clock starts beeping
at him
really aggressively loud, and then it causes Yellow Guy's ears to bleed. And then it just progressively gets weirder and weirder, and going into the past, and then going into the future and talking about that. And then just how the clock goes into everyone runs out of time, and everyone starts to die, everyone starts to decay. And he says it's okay, everyone dies, everyone runs out of time. And then it goes back to them being normal, Red Guy sitting in the chair, and he turns off the TV. That's 2.
So, 3.
3 is love. Now, this got off creepy really fast and I wasn't expecting it when I first saw it.
Oh yeah. So they're at a picnic and they're eating raw chicken.
Yeah.
And yellow guy is like getting like really annoyed and he just can't take it anymore, so he runs away. And so he goes to hide up in a tree.
And what finds him in the tree is a butterfly.
And then so then they bring him up to like some area
Where
and,
everyone loves each other and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And then it turns really dark after that. We turn back to Duck and Red Guy, and they eat all
chicken.
of the chicken, the eggs, and everything else, and it's a bloody mess.
Yeah.
And then they choose to go find him. As Carter said, Yellow Guy is up in the clouds with this butterfly that's singing to him about love and how it's a wonderful thing, and love has to be towards someone. It can't be about yourself, or it can't be about a stranger. It has to be about your special one. And then it turns even darker. Like, you wouldn't think that would get darker, because lately it's just been blood and the main three characters dying or something happening to them. With this, it turns into like a cult following. The people who love everyone else answer to a floating, not really floating, but a huge head that they feed pebbles or gravel to, and it gets creepy.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that Yellow Guy was just dreaming. Bird and Red Guy find him, give him the last egg, and the egg pops open. There's a weird worm that comes out, says something, and then Bird kills it. That's the end of 3. So, 4. This is about computers and internet.
Oh.
It opens up as them playing a board game, and Red Guy asks a question, pulls a card and asks a question, and can't answer it. So he turns to the globe as if it's going to like pop alive, and then Bird does the same. Sorry, Duck does the same thing, and it doesn't do it. 2 seconds later, it flips around, has a mouth and eyes, and then the computer on the other side of the room interrupts and starts talking. And it's talking about, how he's really intelligent, he can answer any question. But then Red Guy says that they already have a computer, and it's a laptop. And what gets me off guard is the fact that Red Guy and Bird they look to the globe as knowing that something was going to happen there. Yellow Guy is oblivious to everything, it seems. He's the child of the group. It seems that Red Guy and Bird, Duck, green thing, I don't know what it is, know they are in a show. So, going into that, and then it surprised them that the big computer over on the other side of the room is there, even though they have a laptop on the other side. And the computer keeps interrupting, then it goes into asking personal information.
Yeah.
Duck and Yellow Guy are talking, and Red Guy tries to shut him up. It finally touches the computer's keyboard, and the computer freaks out. Tells him, "Do not touch me," in like a piercing tone, and then it goes to static. And then they're in the digital world, where everything is possible. There's shapes and whatever, digital style, and as the computer said, digital dancing, and it keeps repeating and repeating and repeating until it just gets even creepier, and the only person that's outside of the computer towards the end is Red Guy. Bird and Yellow Guy are missing in the computer, and then if you pause the clip for Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared 4, you will quickly see Bird and Yellow Guy appear, and they're big, heads are blocked, and their brains are outside of their head. But that's just a little teaser. And then finally, Red Guy sees the cord where the computer's plugged into, and then follows the cord out the door, and he opens the door and sees that it's all a recording. It's all a illusion. It's a show. He pops open, sees that, and then some guy in a black morph suit says cut, and then his head explodes. It was the food one. It was the weird one.
Oh, God.
This enters with Bird and Yellow Guy in a kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Red Guy's nowhere to be found. You see him in pictures, and then it turns back to Bird and Yellow Guy, and then he turns back to the picture that he's in, and he's outside the window. So that means he's gone. Red Guy has left the show and isn't part of the cast anymore. Mm-hmm. And then it gets confusing. It's with Yellow Guy and Bird and the cooking show. And then it starts off with Bird and Yellow Guy talking about food. Then they turn around and they see a loaf of bread pounding 2 spoons on peanut butter and jelly and saying something. And then it opens up. And then a cabinet opens up atop of him with a can of spinach with a knife and a spoon. And then out of the corner, I don't know where, a steak comes out with a chef hat and shoes and arms, legs, mouth, eyes, whatever. Starts poking at Bird, and Bird is not having it. Bird is like, what the hell is going on here? This is weird. What's going on? What happened to the show? And then it just continually goes on to endorsing other foods, like bland foods like grain,
Yeast.
Yeah, that's later. And it's just like, it shows that, your teeth will go gray if you eat bad food or if you eat too much of this food. And then Bird just has it and says, I don't want to do this anymore. Knocks the camera down. And then he wakes up in like a medical ward. Mm-hmm. Where there's like TVs everywhere, and then it goes back to him being in the show with Yellow Guy, the steak, and the can of spinach, talking about food and how it affects your body, and it shows a house representation of the food and where everything goes, and where the organs are, and it just goes into saying, bad food is not nice, and it goes out the poop chute, kind of. It's weird. Bird doesn't like it, and he's not agreeing with everything that's going on. Yellow Guy, of course, being the younger of the trio, is into it. Bird is fully out of the show, and he's being eaten
By cans. They're just...
So it's probably a representation of him being canned, him leaving the show in a negative light. And then there's also a phone ringing throughout the whole show, and Bird keeps picking it up and answering it, and it's
Red Guy trying to get a hold of them,
trying to get them out. Part 1 of this Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared video trio. We're gonna do another video just right after this, continuing. So hope you guys have enjoyed, and if you have, please hit that like button down below and subscribe if you're new to my channel. Share this video to your friends if you think that they might like my commentary of all this weird stuff that goes on. So hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I will see you guys later. Peace.